Ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills did it again. Though I guess we shouldn't be too surprised since it's only the Jets. The point is, Bills postgame starts right now. Welcome to Sports for Beginners. This is the show where I cover the Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Blue Jays, and take you on a journey through the world of sports from the fans' perspective. Here is your host, Scott McGregor. Let's have some fun. What is happening, Bills Mafia? I'll tell you what's happening. Happy Victory Monday to you. I'm your host, Scott McGregor. Please call me Scott. The Buffalo Bills defeated Justin Fields and the New York Jets. 30 to 10 was the final score of today's ball game at the time of our recording. It is Sunday, September the 14th. 2025. I said happy Victory Monday to you because by the time you hear this, you might hear this over the course of the week, or you might hear this on tomorrow's date, which is September 15th, 2025. That is besides the point. Anywho, let's get into it, shall we? We're gonna do it by half since it's just me today with our solo program. Justin Fields against Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. What a day to be a Buffalo Bills fan. And what a day for the Buffalo Bills to put up the amount of points that they did. Before we decided to come on to do this show, I watched the highlights. I did not watch the game, but by golly, Bills Mafia. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I get it. It's the Jets. I get it. It's not a team that, well, is per se good. Maybe might be mediocre, but that's probably an understatement. Anyways, the Jets did not allow Buffalo to walk all over them. Well, they kind of did. Anywho, let's get back to the game. So as I mentioned, the Buffalo Bills are head coached by Sean McDermott. The quarterback is Josh Allen. I send my hopes and prayers to him, hoping that it's nothing serious that he sustained when he injured his nose in the game today. So hopefully Josh is okay. The New York Jets quarterback is Justin Fields. They are head coached by Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is our head coach of the New York Jets. I'll double check here on my Chrome to see if that's correct for 2025. New York Jets 20. Yes, indeed. If you want to talk about it from Wikipedia, even on the New York Jets website, it does say Aaron Glenn. So yes, Aaron Glenn is indeed the head coach for the New York Jets. The Jets fall in their first game of two games that they will play against the Buffalo Bills this season. And it was quite a ball game. The owners of the New York Jets are Robert Wood and Johnson V, owners of the Buffalo Bills. Well, besides whatever's going on with MLSE, who owns the Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto FC, and of course the Toronto Raptors and Toronto Argonauts. The owners of the Buffalo Bills are Kim and Terry Pagula. And with that being said, let's get into this ball game. Buffalo coming off a game that the NFL called the game of the year. And yeah, you know what? They're not wrong to call it the game of the year. They're absolutely not wrong to call it the game of the year. Absolutely not. It's not wrong to call it the game of the year. It really isn't. Gonna share my screen here with the Sportsnet tracker, the NFL tracker. Of course, download the app on Sportsnet and of course any other app that you have for free to follow your favorite sports team and your favorite NFL team if you're looking for NFL all year long. there you have it, your final score, Bills 30, Jets 10. The highlight that we have here is Cook dances through the Jets defenders for a 41-yard touchdown. Speaking of touchdowns, and specifically James freaking Cook. Before we dive into the first and second quarter, part of what we call the first half game breakdown for this game at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey, want to touch on the message that Josh said to the guys in the tunnel before the game. He said this: the mission is simple, find a way to get the job done. Then he ended with love y'all, followed by win on, as he always does. But this wasn't really the Josh Allen game. Now, give him credit. He did not come out of the ball game completely, just for the sake of the second quarter. And then, of course, he did not play in the fourth quarter, but he did play the third and the first quarter, and also the second quarter. He did not finish the first quarter, however, but that's okay. Here's what happened. We start out at the 7:29 mark of the first quarter. James Cook bolts through some Jets defenders for a 1-yard touchdown. Matt Prater, extra point, up and good. Matt Prater is the kicker. And literally 10 days ago, he wasn't kicking for the Buffalo Bills. He's 41 years old and he was being a coach elsewhere before he got brought into Buffalo. He came in last week on Thursday and he felt the vibe, as you heard in the post-game victory speech, which we will get to later on in our show. Speaking of Matt Prater, as at this point it is 7-0 Buffalo. Prater hit a 28-yard field goal to make it 10-0 Buffalo after 1 quarter of play. This coming at the 5-minute and 4-second mark of the first quarter. Buffalo up 10-0 at the end of 1 quarter of play. Before we go to quarter number 2, one of the biggest parts of the first quarter was that turnover in this game. The only turnover of the ball game, because the second time the Jets fumbled the ball, they were able to recover. So they only fumble once and lose. That ball picked up by AJ Epinesa, punched out by Joey Bosa, who made the fumble, and it turned into 3 points. Buffalo's up. To the second quarter we go. Prater putting on a show. He made one from 28 in the first quarter of the game. Now in the second quarter, early second quarter. Prater, 52-yarder. Good. It's 13-0 Buffalo. Later in the game's second quarter, Bills on the ball again. This time it's Cook. You know what? This was at the 8:50 mark of the game. I'm just going to let the NFL, all credit to you, all credit to the Jets, and all credit to the Buffalo Bills as well. But I got to play this clip for you to sum up the second quarter. James Cook touchdown. This is Cook's second touchdown of the game on the ground. 44-yard touchdown. Matt Prater, extra point is up and good. By then, it is now 20-0 Buffalo. But here's the call from Tony Romo, and we'll wait it up here to see if there's an ad. I don't think there should be. It's a 47 second, I should say, ad. So let's bring back Tony and Jim. And also Tracy Wolfson was on sideline reporting duty. So here we go. Enjoy. This is the Cook dances through Jets defenders for a 44-yard touchdown run.
For him, he took some snaps and went back out there. But expect him to ice it throughout this game.
For a touchdown. Right now, Jim, I know you carry him each game, but that was next level. You used the joystick there for the jump cut, the wiggle, the giggle.
And this move back to the other side, right here and here. His second touchdown of the game.
I'm not saying he's underrated, Jim, but I'm saying he's underrated, and he said it too. There's my guy. How good is this guy, Cook?
I think he was referring to Josh Allen there, saying that James Cook was underrated because he also said, there's my guy. And when I talk about him, I'm talking about Tony Romo bringing that up. Tony, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And apologies, even if I was wrong. Anyways, moving on. Nick Folk picking up a 51-yard field goal attempt to make it 20-3. That is where the score would stand at halftime. 20-3 Buffalo. So Buffalo with a pretty impressive first half right out of the gate, highlighted by what we just showed you. All credit to CBS, the NFL, Buffalo, and New York, the Jets, and of course Buffalo Bills. But Cook with quite the run, 44-yard touchdown after he had a 1-yard touchdown to start the game. We'll get to the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Not too many fireworks in this game, but the Buffalo Bills routed the Jets 30-10. They would win this game by 20 points after winning last week by just a point. In case you missed that final score, that was Bills 41, Ravens 40. Speaking of the Ravens, we will get to that momentarily. No game on Friday this week. So before we take the first commercial break of the show, let's get you caught up on what happened on Thursday and a little bit of the action from Sunday so far from the 1 p.m. to the 4 p.m. area. Let's take you to, first of all, let's take you to the Thursday nighter. Packers improved to 2-0. Micah Parsons was an absolute beast once again. This time they defeat the Commanders, who fall to 1-1, 27-18. Again, Micah Parsons was an absolute beast. Let's go to our Sunday game. Rams at Titans. Rams victorious in that game. They will move to 2-0 on the season, beating the Titans 33-19. Titans will go to 2. They will face off against the 2-0 Colts, who defeated Denver earlier today. The Rams, however, will go 2-0 and be hosted by the 2-0 Eagles. More on the Broncos game from the Colts and the Eagles game against the Chiefs momentarily. Let's go to Miami for the opener. For a team that might tank the entire year, I'm just saying might tank the entire year, they certainly were not doing a good job about that. They were playing a lot better than they looked. Well, okay, debatable depending on who you ask, but they did make that one close. They fall to the Patriots 33-27. The Patriots are 1-1 on the season. They will be hosted by the 1-1 Steelers next week. Buffalo, who is 2-0, will face off against the 0-2 Dolphins as a result of their loss, with a chance to make the Dolphins either 1-2. And of course, if that would happen, the Buffalo Bills would go to 2-1. If that does not happen, the Dolphins would go to 0-3, and the Bills would go to 3-0. Anywho, moving on. Speaking of the Steelers, they fell 31-17 to the Seattle Seahawks. Both the Steelers and the Seahawks are 1-1. The Steelers will take on the Patriots 1-1. So one of those teams next week will become 2-1. The Saints are 0-2. They will take on the 1-1 Seahawks, who were victorious 31-17 next week. Our final 30-3. We're going to figure out how that happened in just a little bit. Jets will be hosted by the 1-0 Buccaneers. They are still yet to play this week. So as we sit here, the Buccaneers record is 1-0 against the 0-2 Jets. Next week, Buffalo hosts the 0-2 Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. More on that later in the show, as Buffalo is Giants go to overtime with the boys of the Cowboys. And guess what? The boys beat the Giants 40-37 in overtime. Giants 0-2. They will host the 0-2 Chiefs next week. The 0-2 Bears will host the 1-1 Cowboys. Bears. Did they play? I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. Check down here, checking my score line here. Bears, 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 Bears. Yes, well, the Bears did play this week. Or the Bears have played. The Bears have played this week. Oh, yes, they faced the Lions, and boy, did they get crushed. 52-21. Speaking of the Lions, Lions improved to 1-1. The Bears going to 0-2. Is that right? Do I have that right? Yes, the 0-2 Bears host the 1-1 Cowboys. The Ravens hammer the Browns 41-17. Browns are 0-2. They will be hosted by the 2-0 Packers. The Ravens and Lions both at 1-1 will go head to head next week. Niners are 2-0. They will take on the 1-0 Cardinals. I should say the 2-0 Cardinals next week, as the Cardinals defeated the Panthers 27-22. Miami fell by a final score of 33-27. We'll come back with more of the games from Sunday. Get in the double header, I should say, of Monday Night Football, and also take a look at the current ongoing game in the main event of Sunday night, which is today. This is a Monday program, but we will get into that main event, Falcons and the Vikings, going on right now. More of that coming up in just a few moments. When we return, more from Sunday, complete schedule, including a check-in on Sunday Night Football, second half rundown from the third to the fourth quarter of this game, Jets and the Bills. Plus, we'll go inside the locker room after the game totals to hear what Coach McDermott, Josh Allen, and the rest of the team had to say after this game, after this victory. One thing we know that they did say when they posted, obviously, is big dub. Stay right where you are, because Bills postgame will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I wonder if I could make it. It's almost getting to 8 o'clock p.m., and I am still a few more steps away from home to get to my computer to listen to CNT Radio's Cosmopolitan Culture Club. The best of the best music from around the world. Can't wait. I think I made it. CNT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
We saw Josh Allen in full force on Sunday. Where do this Jets defense even begin to contain him?
It was the perfect word there, contain it. Find out. 100%, we're going to find out.
100%, we were going to find out. There you have it, the calm before the storm for the first of two games between these two squads, the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Victory speech from Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and the gang in the locker room coming up momentarily. But first, let's get back to breaking this game down. And I mentioned we are going to go back to take a look at Sunday's games, take a look at those matchups already gone final. We looked at a couple of those games on Sunday going final, and we also looked back at that Packers win on Thursday night, 27-18, in case you missed it, was the final. Packers over the Commanders. All right, with that being said, let's keep it going. I'm going to share our screen one more time. Once we are through our second half, we will jump right in to the game totals. Kicking things off where we left off, we were at 20-3 after the first half. So at halftime, it was 20-3 Buffalo. Bills up by 17. They go up by 20 with Matt Prater with the game only play of scoring in the third quarter. 33-yard touchdown, 33-yard field goal, by Matt Prater. Makes it 23-3. Bills up by 20. So keep in mind, the Buffalo Bills did not go up 20-0 at the half. It was 20-3 at the half. So the Bills were up by 17 at the half. Now, after 3 quarters of play, they are up by 20 points. Heading to the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Elijah Moore, remember him? He finds the end zone for a 4-yard touchdown. Matt Prater, extra point up and good. It is 33 Buffalo, and Buffalo looks like they were shot out of a cannon in this game. The way they started this ball game to the way they ended it. Now it is 30-3 Buffalo, which means it's a 27-point lead for Buffalo here in the fourth quarter. After 3 quarters, it was 23-3, which was a 20-point game. Now it's a 27-point game early fourth quarter. Now it's a 27-point game early fourth quarter. Late fourth quarter, Tyrod Taylor into the game, makes a throw, catch is complete for the touchdown, and Tyrod Taylor into the game with a touchdown, the only Jets touchdown and the only passing touchdown we would see in this game. It's 30-10. Extra point by Nick Folk is up and good. Apologies there for the technical issues there, ladies and gentlemen. Where was I? Oh, yes. So after the Elijah Moore touchdown, 4-yard touchdown for Elijah Moore, extra point by Matt Prater is good. It is now a 27-point lead for Buffalo heading into the fourth quarter. Actually, heading into the fourth quarter, it was a 20-point game after the Matt Prater 33-yard field goal. At this point in the fourth quarter, it is a 27-point lead for the Bills heading into the later half of the fourth quarter, where Jeremy Ruckeder picks up a pass from Tyrod Taylor. It is complete. Nick Folk with the extra point up and good, and it's 30-10. That is how the game would wrap up, which brings us, we're on Bills postgame, it brings us to our game stats. We're going to go team by team, so we're going to start with the New York Jets. They finished the game with 154 total yards, 83 passing yards, 100 rushing yards. Well, actually, the score here says 54 passing yards. It was actually 83 according to Sportsnet. 180 yards passing for almost, actually 179, 180. We'll go with 180 passing yards for Buffalo. 3 total yards. They also rushed the ball 224 yards in rushing. Only 47 calls for plays made by the Jets. They averaged 3.3 yards per play at 11 first downs. They were absolutely horrendous on third down, 0 for 11. Bills not too shabby, 5 of 15. They had 25 first downs. They averaged, per 71 plays total, they averaged 5.7 yards per play. They were at 36%, but the Jets' third down completions, oh my God, they were horrendous. 0% third down efficiency. 0 for 11. 6 penalties to Buffalo for 69 yards. 1 fumble for Buffalo. They did not lose that fumble. They recovered. 3 fumbles for the Jets. Recovered once. Only 1 recovery by Buffalo. That was the only turnover of the game. A fumble for Buffalo to turn the ball over, which would ultimately lead to the Matt Prater 28-yard field goal later on. 69-yard penalty, 69 for penalties for Buffalo on 6 of their penalties. 5 penalties went to the Jets, 35 yards as a result. 70 tackles made by the Jets in this game. The Bills I should say, lose that battle, but they had 42 tackles, 4 sacks, bagged Jets quarterbacks 4 times, including Jets starting quarterback Justin Fields. They bagged him twice, and they also bagged Tyrod Taylor twice. And by bagged, I mean sacked him. So they sacked Tyrod Taylor, who was 7 of 11. They also sacked Justin Fields. Bills only letting up 1 sack. That went to Josh Allen. The Jets bagged Allen once. Allen only lost a yard in sacks. The Jets, however, lost 29 yards with combined sacks on Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. They had a time of possession of 21 minutes and 39 seconds. Bills had the ball for 38 minutes and 21 seconds. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are your totals. Your line score: Bills 10 points in the first quarter, no points for the Jets in the first quarter, 3 points for the Jets in the second quarter, 10 points for Buffalo in the second quarter, which led to the 20-3 halftime total. 3 points for Buffalo in the third quarter, no points for the Jets, and both teams with 7s on the board in the fourth quarter. But ultimately, Buffalo would win the game 30-10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it going here. Other finals from the 1 o'clock slate include the Baltimore Ravens winning 41-17. The New Orleans Saints fell 26-21 to the San Francisco 49ers. The Jacksonville Jaguars fall 31-27 to the Bengals of Cincinnati, and also the Arizona Cardinals knock off the Carolina Panthers 22. The Denver Broncos lose due to a game-winning field goal. They lose by a point, 29-28. Daniel Jones with the Indianapolis Colts is 2-0 on the season as they knock off the Broncos 28-28, and the Eagles knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17. In the ongoing game on Sunday Night Football, it is 6-3 Falcons, and it looks like that is going to be a field goal game so far. They are in the second quarter. Other games coming up on Monday as this show drops. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are being hosted by the Houston Texans, and the Los Angeles Chargers are being hosted. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers going on at 10 Eastern on Monday. Texans. So just 3 more games to be final, including the ongoing game right now. That is the Vikings and the Falcons, 6-3 the score right now. And then, of course, the doubleheader featuring the Texans and the Buccaneers. And, of course, the other game coming up on Monday Night Football, that is the Raiders and the Chargers. Alrighty. With all of that out of the way, the play of the game is coming up in just a few moments. Game balls of the game, which are our player of the game segment. And we will also let you in on who's next for Buffalo and who is next for the Jets. We teased it earlier in the recap when we were talking about the games so far on Sunday that have gone final. You'll find out more about it, I'm sure, on Dolphins postgame. And of course, you'll find out about it here on Bills Postgame as we roll on. Going to take a quick 2 30-second timeouts as we hear words from On the Ice and Behind the Benches is studio, and of course, our good friends over at Sienna T Radio. When we return to Bills postgame, hear what head coach Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and the gang had to say after the 30-10 win over the Jets, plus the game balls of the game, and I'll reveal to you my play of the game. We might have teased it during that first half breakdown when we talked about James Cook's 44-yard touchdown run. We might have teased it and also might have shown it. Regardless, you'll find out about that, which two Bills players are getting a game ball of the game, and which two Jets players are getting a game ball of the game. It all happens when we return to Bills postgame. Still a little bit left to get to, including who's next for the Bills and who's next for the Jets. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this from On the Ice and Behind the Benches and Sienna T Radio, making your day brighter one song at a time. Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches.
What a busy traffic on this Friday evening. I am almost stuck in this traffic for the last 40 minutes. And there is no way, I think, for me to get to the show. The Sienna T Radio Song Bank, which is going to start very shortly. It's one of my favorite shows. And my, what a way to wind down for the weekend. Perfect 2 hours of fun-filled music. And she has so many great features. Sound of Music, Undercover, Foreign Exchange. Name That Tune. And the big wheel that she spins for Who's That or Where Are We? We cannot forget about the international stage. I have never come across such a great show in my life. I think I will have to press hard on my accelerator and go as fast as I can to get home in time. Wow! Wow! Look! I made it! I am almost there! Sienna T Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bills postgame. Bills knock off the Jets 30-10. They routed the Jets right from the get-go to a 20-3 lead at halftime, and the Jets avoid the shutout, but they lose by 20, 30-10. Your final. Once again, happy Victory Monday to you, Bills Mafia. It's the second Victory Monday, and it's only the second week of the season. Remember what I said at the beginning of the season, especially at week 1, until later in the season for the Buffalo Bills. As a Bills fan, you will not catch me saying that until later in the year. It's been good, and Joey Bosa has been great since he's gotten here, and he loves to play football. Yes, he certainly does. Play of the game coming up in just a few minutes. We might have teased it, during the first half breakdown, and we also might have shown it. But before we get back to it, and we also give out the game balls of the game, which will follow this, let's hear what Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and the gang had to say after the 30-10 win over the Jets earlier this afternoon. Here we go. Indeed, we will play the Bills Mafia. We will be playing the Jets once again. This time it will be at Highmark Stadium. One last time. The old Highmark Stadium. One last time. When will that be? That's later on in the year. But 1 week and one game at a time. Bills have started off great. They've started the season. And of course, there's a lot that we got to get to break down this win, but by golly, Mitch Trubisky and Josh Allen, I don't want to say that they run this team. Josh certainly does. He certainly does, I will say that. But the two guys that do it are Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. But you know what? I think a lot of credit today has to go to James frickin' Cook. With the touchdown, with the first touchdown that he did score, maybe it was the second touchdown, but regardless, with the two touchdowns he has scored in this game, he is the first Bills running back with a rushing TD in 6 consecutive games since 1988. So for the first time in 37 years, the Bills have a running back that has a rushing touchdown in 6 consecutive games for the first time in Buffalo Bills history since 1988. The Buffalo Bills have a running back in James Cook who has a rushing touchdown in 6 consecutive games. Mad love to James Cook. What a day for James, and what a day for the team in general. Like I said, one game at a time. Holy moly, what a day it has been for the Bills. All right, with that being said, and with that noted down, I think I just gave away my first game ball of the game. And that's going to go for the Buffalo Bills to James frickin' Cook. That's going to go to James Cook. What a day you had today, James. I know I didn't watch it live, but my golly, you were just running all over the field. Of course, we have to give Josh and the guys some credit. They were using their legs as well. Couple of great catches. You had a touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown in the first quarter of play. Mitch Trubisky, 1 completion out of 2 for 32 yards. Josh, 14 out of 25 completions, 148 yards, 1 sack, 6 carries. That's right, because Josh was rushing as well. James Cook with 1 target. He also had the catch in that 1 target. And he also had a fumble before as well that he recovered. In rushing attempts, he had 21 carries, 132 yards, 2 TDs on the ground. Elijah Moore, 2 carries for Elijah Moore, 6 yards, a touchdown. He's really been interesting to watch, to be honest. 3 yards for the catch for James Cook, 31 yards for Elijah Moore. Joshua Palmer, 3 targets, 2 catches, 47 yards. Stand up, my friend. You had a good day. But my second game ball of the game, my first went to James Cook. My second is going to go to Dalton Kincaid. 6 targets, 4 catches, 37 yards. I feel like I should also just give a third one and give it out to Joshua Palmer. Of the 2 opportunities he had, he caught 2 of his 3 targets for 47 yards. What a day for him. And yes, of course, I like to give credit to Josh as well. Josh used his legs. He used his throwing arm. But the 3 Bills game balls of the game I'm going to give are James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, and Joshua Palmer. Joshua, James, and Dalton had pretty good games. Let's go to the 3 that are going to get the game ball of the game for the Jets. We're going to go ahead and give Tyrod Taylor his flowers. He did get the only touchdown of the game for the Jets. He was sacked twice, was 7 of 11. Justin Fields, it was not his day, 3 of 11. And also Justin was injured, I think. I think he got injured in this game. Regardless, it looks like he was injured. He is under concussion protocol. Hopefully he clears that, so we'll see what he does there. But again, 3 of 11 for the man Justin Fields. He also used his legs, 5 rushes, 49 yards. His longest rush was 27 yards, 9 yards for Breece Hall, 2 catches, 3 targets. Breece Hall, Tyrod Taylor, and the guy with the only touchdown, Jeremy Ruckert, is going to get the last game ball of the game. So Breece Hall, Tyrod Taylor, and Jeremy Ruckert are your game ball of the game recipients for the New York Jets. For the Buffalo Bills, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, and Joshua Palmer. And yeah, you know what? We teased it, but it's everywhere to be my play of this ball game. So let's go ahead. Let's bring it up one more time. Jim, Tony, Tracy, over to you. By the way, at the time of this happening, Tracy was on the call, and then Jim and Tony took over. Here we go, my play of the game. The Jets defenders get danced around by James Cook for the 44-yard touchdown run. Back to you, boy. Back to you, everybody that had the game's call on CBS. Tracy, Tony, Jim, back to you.
Touchdown. I know you carry him each game, but that's the there for the jump cut, the wiggle.
And this move back to the other side, right here and here. His second touchdown of the game.
I'm not saying he's underrated, Jim, but I'm saying he's underrated, and he said it too. There's my guy. How good is this?
All right. There you go. There's your play of the game. All right. Quick check-in on the action on the Sunday Night Football game. All the other games are final from Sunday so far. Quick check-in. We got the Atlanta Falcons leading with before we get to halftime at Sunday Night Football. It is 9-3, and we are at halftime now. So at halftime, it was 9-3. Now at halftime, they're at halftime officially. It is the Vikings down 9-6. Field goals have been galore in this Sunday Night Football game. 9-6 is where we stand on Sunday Night Football at halftime. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and take our last timeout of the show. When we return, we'll set up next week for the Jets and next week for the Bills. Plus, let you know how week number 3 of football content is going to affect Blue Jays Weekly Recap. And we will touch on that again on Blue Jays Weekly Recap later on Monday, which you will hear before you hear Dolphins postgame on this show. It will be the Bills postgame show before we get to the Dolphins. And we'll get Blue Jays talking it up on Blue Jays Weekly Recap. I will be there to host it here on Sports for Beginners. Dolphins postgame will follow right after. Of course, we will have the same kind of thing happen on the ice and behind the benches, but maybe it will be Dolphins first and then it will be Bills after the Blue Jays Weekly Recap, but we will make an exception for that. For Thursday, you will find out how that is going to work. And great news, Thursday Night Football, before the game, Thomas and I will come on and talk Bills and Dolphins. We're going to give until the next week of the Sean McDermott show. We're going to give the Sean McDermott show a break for until the next primetime game, which will be in the first week of October. That is Sunday, October the 5th. We will give it a break there. You know what? Actually, we're going to do it. We're going to do it again in week number 6. We're going to try it again in week number 6 for Sean McDermott's thoughts for Before They Kick Off. But Before They Kick Off officially returns this coming week, and you'll find out why when we return. Stay with us. Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bills, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners.
Cianity Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on Cianity Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on Cianity Radio.
Despite a few technical difficulties that we had over the course of our second half breakdown, and of course the game totals and whatnot, we were able to get to the game balls of the game, the play of the game, which I revealed as the James Cook 44-yard touchdown run. You also got to give Joey Bosa his flowers. He really was on today, chasing Justin Fields and maybe Tyrod Taylor all over the field. Joey Bosa was definitely arriving and just being a force to be reckoned with. As I mentioned again when we did the game totals, the Bills defense got to both Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields twice for a sack. So before we get down to what's going to be happening on Sports for Beginners, who's next for the Buffalo Bills, the 2-0 Buffalo Bills, and the 0-2, yes, the 0-2 New York Jets. I want to make sure I have that correct. The 0-2 New York Jets. Let's start with the New York Jets. As is 9:50, we are going to breeze through this, including where they play next week. They will be at the Buccaneers next week. Game time is 1 p.m. Eastern. And then it's the first of two showdowns against the Dolphins in week number 4 on Monday Night Football. We're going to go through 3 of their next weeks. So we're down to the last one. That is week number 5 against the Cowboys. So a short week for the Jets. They'll play on Monday Night Football against the Dolphins at 7:15 p.m. In week number 4, they got an afternoon showdown. Next week against the Buccaneers, they have an afternoon showdown against the Cowboys on the first week of October, October 5th. At 1 p.m. Then they're off to play a little early Sunday action in week number 6 when they take on the Denver Broncos. That one in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Game time on the East Coast is 9:30 in the morning Eastern. 9:30 a.m. Eastern to be more specific. And with that, let's go to who's next for the Buffalo Bills. Well, prime time came back early, but I guess we would expect that. The Buffalo Bills' next 3 contests include a few primetime games. We'll get to their bye because they have we'll go to the next 4 games actually because they have a bye in week number 7, I should say. So they are down to 4 games before their bye. And then it's pretty much Bills football all the way from week 8 all the way to week 18. And here's how it goes from week 3 all the way to week 7. Week 3 will feature a primetime matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins at Highmark Stadium. It is the first of 2 showdowns between Miami and Buffalo this season. The next one will be in November after the Chiefs game on Sunday, November the 2nd. That, of course, is after the bye. Before the bye, the Buffalo Bills, after next week, which is a Thursday night football game against the Miami Dolphins. They will take on the New Orleans Saints in week number 4. 1 p.m. Eastern is the time slot for that game on Sunday, September the 2025, the last day of the MLB regular season, mind you, when all the games will be at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. After that, they open up October in Sunday Night Football, their last Sunday Night Football game of the season. They only have 1 game on Thursday Night Football that I know of. Oh, actually, sorry, they have 2. There's also one against the Texans, but they do have only one more Sunday Night Football game this season. That is against the New England Patriots before they take on the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football in week number 6. So the good news for the Buffalo Bills, after a short week following week number 3 against the Miami Dolphins. They will take on the Saints the following Sunday, which is the 1st of September. They got to take on the New England Patriots under the lights at Highmark Stadium one last time. Of course, it is the end of an era for the old Highmark Stadium. They will be moving into a new Highmark Stadium right across the street from the old one come 2026. But let's keep it in 2025 so far. So it's the Patriots and the Bills. Sunday Night Football, October 5th, 2025. 8:20 p.m. Eastern is the kickoff. Thursday Night Football is at 8:15 p.m. and that's next week. After that, it's a 1 p.m. slate against the Saints. And then, not a short week after the Patriot game, they will play on Monday night, week number 6, before they go into the bye. Game time for the Falcons is at 7 p.m., 7:15 p.m., Eastern time. They're at the bye in week number 7. Week number 8, it's at the Panthers. So they'll have 3 games at home, go on the road, hit the bye, and then it's the Panthers, followed by the Chiefs at home. And that is a big one, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. But let's stick to the 1 week at a time. So the Jets take on the Buccaneers next week, and the Buffalo Bills go head to head with the Miami Dolphins. Can the Bills improve to 3-0? Will the Jets get to 1-2, or will the Bills go 2-1 and the Miami Dolphins also 1-2? Remember, they lost this week, so they're looking for their first win of the year. Will they go to 1-2 and the Bills go to 2-1? That remains to be seen, and we'll find out the answer on Thursday Night Football this coming Thursday. Right now, if the Bills were to win this game, they would go to 3-0 and the Dolphins would go to 0-2. So before we sign out of here and I say time to play the shout song as we sign out for this show, what can you expect on Sports for Beginners? Well, as part of this triple play, you can expect Blue Jays weekly recap right after this show, followed by Dolphins postgame, Dolphins versus Patriots. This time the topic of conversation, Dolphins fall 33-27 in this game. They will face the Bills next week. Following this triple play, whether it drops on Monday or it also drops on Tuesday, depending on the baseball and the football content dropping, you will get before they kick off, right before the ball game on Thursday night, if we can get it out to you as best as we can. That might drop on a Friday. It's double trouble for football fans on Friday as well, because it will be Bills and Dolphins postgame right after the Thursday Night Football game. And then basically baseball the rest of the way, Dolphins and Bills postgame for their week 4 matchups. But you're going to get it earlier than you would expect because it's a Thursday night show for Buffalo and Miami this week. Blue Jays weekly recap is coming up in just a few minutes for this week. Following that will be Dolphins postgame. And then, of course, Thomas and I will be on the air for before they kick off to get you ready for Dolphins and Bills. And then on our respective shows, Dolphins postgame and Bills postgame, win or lose, we will have it for you regardless of the outcome. The Bills knock off the Jets today as we still are recording this on a Sunday, September 14th, 2025. As I say it one more time, they defeat the Jets 30-10. They got another AFC division matchup against the Dolphins. It's the first matchup against the Dolphins in the 2025 season, and it's under the lights of Highmark Stadium. So far, the Bills' record at home, 1-0. And the Bills' record on the road so far, also 1-0. The Bills' record altogether, 2-0. What will the records for Miami and Buffalo be at home and on the road after Thursday Night Football? Find out on the postgame shows. As for a Monday Night Football pick, I'm going to go Buccaneers over the Texans at 34-14. That kind of missed with Buffalo, but I'm making a prediction here, so I'm going to take the Bucs at 34-14 over the Texans. Chargers, I think that's going to be a close one between the Chargers and the Raiders game. 20. And in the other game, the earlier game, Buccaneers and the Texans, give me the Buccaneers at 34-14 over the Houston Texans, even though our good buddy Stephon Diggs is out there playing with the 0-1 as we speak Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That does it for us. We'll be back after Thursday night's game to bring you Bills Dolphins. So until next week, Bills Mafia, enjoy the Victory Monday. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the football on Monday Night Football. If you're checking out Sunday Night Football, odds are you probably aren't by the time this show hits the air. Hope you enjoy Sunday Night Football. We will see you Thursday, right before the game, to get you ready for it. Thomas and I will see you then. My name is Scott McGregor. Play shout, everybody. Play shout. Have a great week, everybody. We'll catch up with you before and after Dolphins and Bills next week. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to Sports for Beginners. If you would like to learn more about the show, you can visit the podcast Facebook page or visit the official website. You can also send us an email at sportsforbeginners podcast8231@gmail.com. As we always remind you, it is not goodbye, it is until next time.